Down. Arms, spread your legs. Hand behind your back. Hand. Okay, now in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to defend against the most common sort of hand strike. Now, remember, we're looking at realistic self-defense training. We're not talking about the sports-orientated martial arts side of things. We're talking about the everyday common person. And that's something I need you to understand, is that you want to defend yourself against the everyday person, because the mass majority of people in society that are violent are not martial artists. They're just violent people. And they have a tendency to do many of the same sorts of attacks. Now, the most common attack we're going to look at today is the typical pub brawl swing. It's that wide burst haymaker strike. It's nothing technical, it's just a wide swing where someone just wants to try and belt you in the head. So the logical thing to do when learning self-defense is let's deal with the most likely threat and work our way backwards from there. There's no point learning how to defend against a spinning back kick, because it's unlikely that in a real life situation someone's going to launch that at you. Always bear in mind that most self-defense situations are about arm's length distance away, because that is your verbal communication range. And if you want some great examples of people using haymakers and swinging them around, just explore through YouTube and look at real fights or on the internet elsewhere, and you'll see that the most common attack is the pub brawl swing. Look at football match fights, soccer match fights. It's damn common because everyone does it, and I can tell you from experience working as a bouncer, that is the most likely attack that people will do to you. So I'm going to teach you one of the possible methods that you can utilize against a pub brawl swing, or also known as the haymaker's strike. Now we're looking at something that comes on a round angle. Anything that comes around will never force a position, okay? If he throws that haymaker around, I can technically block that and it's not going to hit me. It doesn't force me to move, unlike a straight shot does. But let's look at the proper tactic we're going to incorporate into this. Now, I showed you there very basically how to block. Now, I don't want you to block because it's what I call a secondary reaction. I want a primary function, which is going to be invading hand set one. That is the principle of what we call blocking and striking simultaneously. And I'll explain this to you. If he throws a haymaker around, if I block like most systems do, and then I throw a shot like this, the problem is there's a space and timing gap on the inside of that where my attacker could hit me. And more than likely, if the attacker throws a haymaker around, if I block, he'll probably more than likely throw a secondary shot around, and it ends up being a game of speed and agility. Well, as most of us know, as we get older, we start losing speed and agility, and some of us with our busy lifestyles can't afford to train 24/7. So a better option is to fight smarter rather than harder all the time. And that is the ability of being able to block and strike simultaneously. So what you'll be doing is your hand will be bent like so, and we're going to trap over the top of the elbow joint, and at the same time I'm going to launch a strike into his eyeballs. If you can't see, you can't fight. It is simple as that. We're talking about a realistic street-orientated option, not a sport-orientated option. So I'll be here, and for training purposes today, I'm going to have my hands up like so, as if I was trying to talk my way down out of this situation. So I'm here, relaxed, settle down, he comes through, and I'm coming straight in to those eyeballs. And I'm driving my body on a left-hand 45-degree angle, so I'm locking my complete body weight into his limb, because my body weight is a lot stronger than his arm. It prevents him coming through. Remember, if it's a large, heavy-set guy, that blow that comes around could destabilize you if you're not locking your body into the limb. So once again, I'm here, I'm trying to talk my way down, the person comes through, and I'm straight in the eyeballs. The next thing I'm going to do, you can see from my hand here, I'm actually seizing onto the elbow joint, as seen here. I've come in, I've hit the eyes, I'm going to come on the back of his shoulder and seize. And from here, this right leg is going to drive 2 knee shots straight into the person, so get a lovely bend like so. From here, I'm going to get my hand on the back of his head, I'm going to trap underneath that elbow, and I'm going to step around on my right and do what's called a wheel throw. So I'll be here, taking straight down like so, and from here, I'm going to start punching into the carotid arteries. I'm here, 1, 2, and then knee drop. Then onto the ribs, and then a head stomp. And that's what we call a full combat scenario. Let's have a look at it again. If you need to look at the teaching technique, just rewind and listen to what I was saying, because we need to move forward on this, because it is a very, very small YouTube lesson. He comes through, we're here trying to talk our way down. I hit, 1, 2, I take him down, hit, knee, stomp. One more time, we'll run through it for you there at home. Relax, settle down, mate, it's not worth it. I hear 1, 2, I take him down. 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. That there is a basic way of how you can defend against a haymaker strike. It's not the only option, but it's a damn effective option, and it's one of many of the effective tactics that we can teach you at cqctactics.com.